Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. I hope y'all are happy. I stopped my stream for this. I stopped playing Metaphor, which you can find at twitch.tv/GoldenNovaYugioh, all spelled out, because it's abbreviated on YouTube and not on Twitch because I'm very good at branding, to cover this for you. But thankfully, I'm not too put out about it because we're talking about some more lore cards. A new core set from Alliance Insight means more lore that we get to delve into, and I can't wait to see what lies beyond the horizon for us this time. Let's check it out. Dia Bellstar, the Sin Adjudicator. Hold up. What the heck? Whoa. This is nutty. Look at this. He's got the claws, he's got the bat wings, he's got some dragon armor. That's good. That's some good stuff. Okay, Dia Bellstar, the Sin Adjudicator, level 8 Dark Fiend, 2500 attack, 2100 defense, always treated as a Sinful Spoils card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can banish a spell and trap card from your hand and or graveyard to special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Quick effect, you can pay half your life points and then target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if another Dia Bell monster card is on the field, you can special summon an illusion or spellcaster tuner synchro monster from your extra deck. Okay, so that's pretty funny. This assumedly brings out the White Forest monsters. I don't know which illusion synchro tuner is at. Maybe we'll have one here later. But the spellcaster ones are the synchro versions of the mentors. Unless I'm missing something. I don't think there's any other spellcaster tuner synchros out there. So you pop it, you have another Dia Bell, you get to summon a card, which I assume Dia Bell's the White Witch. We have her in rotation. So we have both of them together. We gain a little extra effect. So this is their turnabout. They're going to be saving their... They're going to be defeating the evil that corrupted the White Woods. We are finally seeing, presumably, the end of this story here. Very exciting stuff. Okay, Dia Bell's the White Witch is a level 8 light illusion monster, 2500 attack, 2100 defense. This card is treated as a White Forest card as well, but not a Sinful Spoil, so keep that in mind. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, you can send a spell or trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. It seems a little familiar. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a Sinful Spoils or Dia Bell card from your deck to the graveyard, getting them into rotation. You can summon Adjudicator from the graveyard, and you had to pitch a spell or trap card to get this onto the field anyway, so that's half of what you need to summon out our other Dia Bell. Now this one has to banish a spell and a trap card, not two cards between spells and traps, so we need to be playing both of them. But these kind of play into each other very well. Third effect, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you control 2 or more Dia Bell monsters. I am going to withhold any complaints about illusion monsters destroying things in battle. I have already come to terms with the fact that the storyline has a different way to use the illusions. I'm not going to be upset about it. This is just pretty good, you know. Drop a spell or trap, summon it for free, get to set up your graveyard with stuff, and it sends Sinful Spoils cards too. Like that's huge. There's a ton of those that are good in the graveyard. Okay. Level 12 Light Illusion Fusion Monster, just Azamina. Nothing else, it's just Azamina. Level 12, 4000 attack, 4000 defense. Requires Queen of the Azamina, which I think we saw last set, and any fusion or synchro monster. It must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing from your special summoned from the extra deck by tributing a Saint Azamina you control and a face-up monster your opponent controls. So, Saint Azamina was that big fusion monster that summoned another Azamina when you summoned it. So, you get to summon it out, summon out a pair, and then contact fuse, essentially, with an opponent's monster to make this thing. Billikers! Okay, cannot be destroyed by card effects. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect, all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack when it resolves permanently. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with 0 attack. That's so goofy. What? That's outrageous. So it's gigantic. Has card effect destruction protection. It has a taxing effect on your opponent's monster's attack. When they get zeroed out, they're blanked. What do you look like? Ooh. Very, very majestic, but in a horrifying way. Snake Eyes Execute Dragon. A fire dragon synchro monster, level 12, 3000 attack, 2500 defense, requiring generic materials. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can target a face-up monster on the field or in the graveyard. Place it face up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell card. Also, this card cannot use this effect next turn. And then during the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can target 2 cards on the field, 1 monster and 1 continuous spell card, and destroy them. Okay. So, it is... It's got like a... It's got a Mirror Jade quality to it where it has removal at quick speed, but it restricts its usage during the next turn, but as an effect, not as a condition, so you can... Huh. Interesting. Interesting. I guess it's not as... I guess it's worse than Mirror Jade, because you could use Mirror Jade multiple times in the same turn if you swapped between them. This one does have a hard once per turn on this first one. But still, puts a monster at quick effect speed into the spell and trap zone. So that's his monster removal. That's pretty good anyway. And then during the battle phase, you can target 2 cards in the field, a monster, and a continuous spell, which you have presumably placed there. Maybe pop one of your opponent's continuous spells, and one of their other cards, or one of their other monsters. And that's pretty goofy. The fact that it has to wait until battle phase does mean that you can play around it a bit, but, you know, sometimes you just have an effect that your opponent can't get around and they have to deal with the downsides of you blasting their cards. That's pretty goofy. This is like just a good generic level 12 synchro monster too. Like, it doesn't necessarily utilize anything else. And to be fair, it says you can use this during either battle phase, including your own, so get some pretty good stuff done with this. Okay, here we go. An Illusion Synchro Tuner monster that we can summon out. Mystic Mystery of the White Forest. It appears that our good friend Snake Eyes Poplar has inherited the power of Diabel, the White Witch. It's got the green and purple energy to it. It's got the oh, okay. 700 attack, 2000 defense, requires generic material. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. If this card is special summoned, you can target a White Forest monster in your graveyard. Place them face up in their owner's spell and trap zone as continuous spells. During your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you can activate this effect. Immediately after it resolves, synchro summon using this card that you control. So, presumably, you special summon this, take your White Forest monsters, put them in the spell and trap zone, and then you send them to the graveyard for your other effects, in which case they're... and then you have your material to quick sync during their turn. I presume that's the idea. Also, being a quick sync like that makes it more viable to use things like, well, whichever mentor. I think it's Silvera. That's like the Book of Eclipse for your opponent's field. Being able to do that at quick effect speed, that stuff's devastating. So this is a pretty sweet way to access that. Phileas Diabel, normal spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, add a level 8 or higher Diabel monster from your deck to your hand, or if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it instead. Second effect, if this card becomes banished, you can make all Diabel monsters you currently control gain 500 attack permanently. Okay, that's pretty savage. So the level 8 or higher requirement keeps us from getting out the original versions of them. I think Black Witch and Original Sin Keeper. But this does get the new ones that were just announced, as well as Diabel, Snake Eyes Diabel. That's pretty cool. And then once we banish it for the summon of our new one, we can make all of our Diabels gain 500 attack. They were already at 2,500, so we bumped them to 3,000. Not bad to have. Curse of Diabel. What in the heck is even going on in this art? It looks like Azamina is being obliterated, just completely consumed by flames. Incredible. Normal trap card, Curse of Diabel. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, if you control 2 or more Diabel monsters, send a monster you control to the graveyard to destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls. And if this card is sent to the graveyard or is banished, effect number 2, from the hand or deck, you can add a Diabel spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, except Curse of Diabel. Okay. So if we use this as like the cost to summon out like Whitewood stuff, or if we send it to the graveyard with Diabel, the White Witch, Diabel's the White Witch. Yeah, we can send a Sinful Spoils or Diabel card. This is a Diabel card, so we get to send it to effectively add one. That's kind of gnarly. This is kind of like a... Its activated effect is pretty good, you know, if you can get to the activation requirements. But the second effect has a kind of Naturia's Sacred Tree vibe to it, where we play it just to send it to the graveyard to get a free search on stuff. And it doesn't care how it gets sent, so we can do stuff like play Foolish Burial Goods as a free searcher for that. And lastly, we have Sinless Sinful Spoils. What a wild final name. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can activate one of these effects. Target a Diabel monster in your graveyard, or banishment, discard a card, and if you do, special summon it. Or you can target a face-up monster card in your spell and trap zone and special summon it. You just get to do that for free every turn. What's going on in this art, huh? What's happening here? Oh, it's the two Diabels kind of like crying and hugging each other while the ghosts of like... I presume that's their mentors? And of course the White Witch looking after them from the afterlife. Oh, that's too cute. It's almost too cute. Wow. Okay, so yeah, this screams final wave of support. Or man, there's got to be some Goblin Biker cards though. They helped get her here in the first place. There's got to be some Goblin Bikers. Okay, so God, the problem with this is that there's so many different cards that interlink that I can't possibly keep them all in my head enough to know what impact these cards have right out the gate. Being level 8 monsters, of course, is wild because it helps give you access to not only rank 8 monsters, but we've introduced like level 12 synchros that we can use, so our level 4 tuners, like the White Forest ones, helps us gain access to things like Snake Eyes Execute Dragon. Can't wait to see how in the heck this works out. It looks like it's been possessed by Silvera, and it's got the wings too, so did Diabel just like supersede the dragon? That's wild. Oof, no, I'm getting caught in the sauce here. So, Adjudicator seems wild. Paying half life points to pop a card seems pretty bad on its own, but if you can manage to get the other Diabel, gaining access to that other Synchro Tuner does mean that we can turn either of these into that level 12 Synchro, or any level 12 Synchro, really. So this is nifty if you have the right setup. I think this is just nifty in general, right? Free body, send stuff to the graveyard, trigger things. If you get another Diabel, your monster board gains protection from card effects. At least destruction, at least. The Azamina fusion is wild. You just make Saint Azamina, get all the bonuses from that one. This is like super poly fodder right here. Like this lets you super poly your opponent with stuff. But yeah, once you do that, or sorry, you can. I got like stuck in my head with like Albaz stuff. It's like, can Albaz work here? But it's like, no. What are you talking about, buddy? What are you talking about? I'm too branded pilled. But no, so this is super poly fodder if you have this or any monster that acts as substitute fusion material. But otherwise, you just make Saint Azamina, and then you just scoop up any of their other monsters, which itself is a kind of super polymerization. That itself is a great monster suppressant that also wins you games because it's got 4,000 attack and defense. Holy cow. Execute Dragon is a pretty nifty level 12. It's not huge. It looks outrageous, but its effect is like, it's fine. You know, I wouldn't choose it over Cosmic Blazar Dragon if I was playing Crimson Dragon, but if you're looking for something that's otherwise generally accessible, you've got this. This must be really funny to play in Centurion, because you have to keep track of which cards are continuous spells and which cards in your back row are continuous trap cards. Very funny. Mystic Mystery is pretty cool, especially if you can cheat it out for free. You get to reset your White Force monsters. You get to quick sync. Phileas Diabel is a search card that sometimes also just special summons them. Curse of Diabel is, like we said, we don't care about the removal effect until it's relevant. Otherwise, we just send it to the graveyard for the search. And then Sinful Spoils is, like we said, a repeatable ways to summon cards out of your back row, which is prevalent in basically all of the cards in this theme, in this story outside of Goblin Bikers. And then otherwise lets you just trade a card to summon out a Diabel from your grave or banishment. These are pretty solid. These are pretty wild. I expect maybe Sinful Spoils to put in work. Definitely Curse of Diabel is going to be like a fodder card. Phileas might see some play. This is nasty. This fusion is out of ugh. And these two are pretty good. Yeah, really solid additions to the theme. Holy cow! They just keep printing bangers for the Sinful Spoil storyline stuff, but you know, I'd rather them print interesting cards than lame ones. And then as a little bonus, someone noted earlier that I had to remake my Materiactor video because there's some new ones showing up. Not likely, but make sure to keep an eye out for the Alliance Insight release roundup. First up, we have Prima Materiactor, a level 3 Light Dragon Pendulum normal monster. We finally have the normal monster I have been screaming at them to make, and they made it a Pendulum monster, so it's more difficult to keep in rotation. Don't know why they did that. As a Pendulum spell, Xyz monsters you control gain attack equal to the number of Xyz material attached to monsters on the field times 100. Not just the amount that is attached to them, just in general. So that could get pretty out of hand. And then second effect, you can target a Materiactor Xyz monster that you control, attach this card to it as a material, then draw a card. So you can just put it under, and it's like an upstart goblin, and then when it's detached, it goes to the graveyard. So there you go. That's how you get into the grave to use for other stuff. You got to be very careful about how you use Prima Materiactor, otherwise it gets lost in your face-up extra deck. There is a bunch of flavor text here. An alien life form that suddenly crash-landed from the heavens far above. Although many researchers have tried to determine why it came, the combination of its luminous glow and the miasma that surrounds it have long shrouded its existence in complete mystery. As a result, trying to grasp the whole picture has been extremely difficult. However, in recent years, thanks to the efforts of up-and-coming researchers, many new species have been discovered. The day will soon come when the full extent of their existence will be revealed. Ooh. There's also the field spell Materiactor Melt Through. When this card resolves, excavate the top 6 cards of your deck, and if you do, place them on top of your deck in any order. That's very important for a few of our cards because they attach things off the top of our deck. So being able to determine what order that happens is pretty important. Though the fact that it excavates kind of blows. Like, did we have to show them to our opponent? Second effect, we can pay 1,500 life points to special summon a Materiactor Xyz monster from our extra deck by using a level 3 normal monster we control as material, which is treated as an Xyz summon, but also you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Xyz monsters. Notably, this is a field spell that does not have a you can only activate this card once per turn requirement, so if you have multiple copies of Melt Through, you can activate one, use the effect to rank up a level 3 normal you control, play a second Melt Through, and then do the same for another level 3 normal monster that you have, so keep that in mind. Also, if an Xyz monster is Xyz summoned, you can attach the top card of your deck to one of your Materiactor Xyz monsters as material. That combos well with effect number 2, because that Xyz monster would otherwise have 1 material. Now it will have 2 material. And also, once again, this lacks a hard once per turn requirement on here. So anytime you Xyz summon any Xyz monster, you get to attach a material, but only to a Materiactor. So if you make like a Silent Honor arc, you can't give it a third material, so it can use its effect 2 times. You have to give the material to one of your Materiactor Xyz monsters on the board. Absolutely sterling card. Works good with our continuous spell, which does something similar, helps keep our Xyz monsters stocked up, giving them more power, and giving them a wider breadth of their effects. A lot of them care about the kinds of cards that are underneath them, and we get to benefit from that with cards like Melt Through. Pretty solid. Once again, I think Materiactors are beyond the pale. There's no way that these cards ever become meta relevant, but there are some funny things that you can do with them, depending on what your theme is. And, you know, maybe Materiactor Primite? You never know. We got our normal monster now, finally. So yeah. Fun stuff from Materiactor. Absolutely ridiculous cards coming out of the Sinful Spoil lineup, and I expect this won't be the last we see of the storyline. We at least have to see what the Goblin Bikers are up to, so keep an eye out for that one. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Are these cards underwhelming? Did you expect more out of all of this? Do you think that they're too overtuned? Are you tired of seeing all these really powerful meta cards coming out of this one archetype that's already had so much success? I can kind of understand. I like seeing the lore stuff getting a lot of power, but that's not for everyone. Once again, let me know down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. And until the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers about their cards, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and get 5% off your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders Upstairs Media and the Critic of Innocence, Nebula Navigator's Third Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zagidel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Going It/Its for the Bit/Bits, Great Big Pillock, Hair Bear, Happy Majin, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yami Nair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Bat Boos, Rank 10 Trains, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Baron Von Tete Sprinkles, Beelzephyr, Fish, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Caesar M, Chaz Ghost, Dr. Reaper, RIP, Eva Padilla, Gary Lick Bread, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, McSpoofy, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Rainer Leong, Ryan Kairos, Shizuka Nijimura, Sir Knight JCB, Sophie, apparently, Sphilia, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Weasel King of Weaseltown and Zal Dreka, as well as all the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.